Your mind is lying to you right now. But here's the twist. Sometimes it's telling the truth. You've felt it. That gnawing sensation when you can't tell if you're being smart or spiraling. When preparation feels like paranoia. When caution becomes a cage. We've all been there at 3 a.m. Rehearsing disasters that have a statistical probability lower than winning the lottery twice. The problem isn't that you worry. Worry kept your ancestors alive. The problem is you can't tell the difference between a charging tiger and an unread email marked urgent. Both trigger the same alarm system. And here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes anxiety is wisdom in disguise, and sometimes wisdom looks exactly like anxiety. Think about it. Every breakthrough moment of clarity you've had, wasn't it preceded by uncertainty? Every time you correctly sensed danger, didn't it feel just like every false alarm? Your internal alarm system has one volume setting, and it's turned up to 11. Chapter 1. Your Stone Age operating system. You're running Stone Age software in the space age. You evolved over millions of years to stay alive in environments where threats were immediate, visible, and usually had teeth. Fast forward to today. Your threat detection system, the same one that saved your ancestors from predators, now fires up when your boss sends a vague email. We need to talk becomes a 4-word tiger. Your amygdala can't read. It just knows danger patterns. Here's the thing about evolution. It doesn't care if you're happy. It cares if you survive. And the cost of missing one real threat was death, while the cost of 1,000 false alarms was just stress. So evolution chose stress. Every time. Better anxious than eaten. This is why you can simultaneously know flying is safer than driving while gripping the armrest at turbulence. Your conscious mind has the statistics. Your ancient instincts have the fear of falling. And guess which one usually wins? The primitive part doesn't debate. It just floods you with chemicals that scream, "Do something now." Chapter 2. The 94% failure rate. Want to know your anxiety's track record? Research shows that 94% of worried predictions never happen. 94%. Your anxiety is basically a weather forecaster who's wrong 19 times out of 20. But you keep watching the forecast. Let's do the math. If you worry about something every day for a year, you're right about 22 days. You're wrong about 343. Those are terrible odds. Yet we bet our peace of mind on them daily. But here's where it gets interesting. That 6% accuracy rate? It's not random. You're actually decent at spotting real patterns. You just drown them in false positives. It's like having a metal detector that beeps at everything, including the treasure. The tragedy isn't that you worry. It's that in all that noise, you might miss the signals that matter. Real intuition gets lost in anxious static. Your gut feelings are there, buried under layers of manufactured panic about things that will never happen. Chapter 3. The smoke alarm problem. Your anxiety is a smoke alarm that goes off when you make toast. It's not broken. It's too sensitive. And sensitivity isn't the problem. The problem is you can't adjust the settings. Think about your home's actual smoke alarm. When it chirps at burnt popcorn, you don't assume the house is on fire. You open a window, wave a towel, maybe swear a little. But when your internal alarm goes off, you believe it completely. Here's what's happening. Your system treats all uncertainty as potential threat. Unknown equals dangerous until proven otherwise. That's why waiting for test results feels like waiting for execution. Not because the outcome is likely bad, but because part of you abhors not knowing. The sensitivity problem compounds in modern life. You're exposed to more potential triggers in one day of internet browsing than your great-grandparents faced in a year. Every news alert, every ambiguous text, every delayed response becomes a potential threat. Your poor nervous system is exhausted from false alarms it was never designed to handle. Chapter 4. Reading your internal weather. Your body knows things your conscious mind hasn't figured out yet. But here's the problem. Anxiety and intuition feel exactly the same in your body. Both tighten your chest, Both quicken your pulse. Both whisper, pay attention. The difference? Real intuition has a quality of quiet knowing. Anxiety has a quality of noisy panic. One feels like information. The other feels like inflammation. Think about the last time you knew, really knew, something was off. Not feared, not worried, but knew. There was probably a settling feeling, even in the discomfort. A sense of, yes, this is true, rather than, what if this is true? Your body is constantly gathering data. Micro-expressions you don't consciously see. Patterns your conscious mind missed. Subtle changes in atmosphere. This is your somatic intelligence. Millions of years of evolution's gift to you. But anxiety is so loud, it drowns out the whispers of real wisdom. Chapter 5. The Evidence Test. Let's get practical. When you can't tell if you're anxious or realistic, you need evidence. Not feelings, not hunches, not what-ifs. Evidence. Here's the test. Write down your worry. Be specific. Something bad will happen doesn't count. I'll lose my job because of that presentation mistake. That does. Now list evidence for and against. Real evidence. Facts only. No fortune telling aloud. The magic happens when you see it on paper. That overwhelming feeling of doom. It's usually supported by one ambiguous comment, 2 assumptions, and 17 catastrophic leaps. Meanwhile, the evidence against includes your entire employment history. But sometimes, and this is important, sometimes the evidence supports concern. That's not anxiety. That's your warning system doing its job. Real problems need real solutions. The evidence test doesn't eliminate all worry. It eliminates unnecessary worry. It's like sorting mail. Bills need attention, junk mail needs the bin. Want to level up your people skills? Join our YouTube membership for early access to scripts, input on future topics, and connection with a community that gets the social struggle. Click join below, and let's master human interaction together. Chapter 6. The Circle You Control. Draw a circle. Everything you can control goes inside. Everything you can't goes outside. Now here's the rule. You only get to spend energy inside the circle. Your health habits? Inside. Other people's opinions? Outside. Your effort? Inside. The outcome? Usually outside. It's almost embarrassing how small the circle is. But here's the paradox. The more you focus on your small circle, the more it influences the big picture. You can't control whether you get the job, but you can control your preparation. You can't control the economy, but you can control your spending. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you weather it. The circle isn't about giving up. It's about strategic energy allocation. Anxiety wants you to waste energy on the uncontrollable. It's like trying to push the river. Reality says, work with the current, not against it. Chapter 7. The Best Friend Filter. Here's a weird trick that actually works. Take your situation, the one causing all this internal debate, and pretend your best friend is facing it. What would you tell them? I'll save you the suspense. You'd be reasonable, balanced. Probably even optimistic. You wouldn't tell them they're doomed because of one mistake. You wouldn't suggest catastrophic outcomes from minor setbacks. The best friend filter works because it adds psychological distance. Suddenly you can see the situation without the emotional flooding. It's like cleaning your glasses. Same view, clearer vision. Try it right now, with whatever's bothering you. If your friend came to you with this exact situation, what would your honest advice be? Not your anxious advice, your actual advice. That gap between what you'd tell them and what you tell yourself, that's where anxiety lives. And now, you know exactly how much of your worry is manufactured. Chapter 8. The Uncertainty Privilege. What if uncertainty isn't a bug but a feature? Think about it. If you knew exactly what would happen tomorrow, next year, next decade, would that really be better? Uncertainty means possibility. It means your actions matter. It means the story isn't written. Your anxiety treats uncertainty like a threat, but uncertainty is actually freedom. Here's what we forget. Most surprises are neutral or positive. Yes, unexpected bad things happen, but so do unexpected good things, opportunities you didn't see coming. Connections you couldn't have planned. Solutions that emerge from problems. The anxious mind wants to eliminate all uncertainty. The realistic mind knows that's impossible and undesirable. Certainty is a cage. The uncertain future isn't something to fear. It's something to participate in. You're not a passive victim of whatever happens. You're a co-author of what happens next. Chapter 9. Your personal calibration. Everyone's anxiety has a signature. Maybe you catastrophize about health, but you're chill about money. Maybe relationships trigger your alarm, but work doesn't. Your patterns are as unique as your fingerprints. Start tracking. When your alarm goes off, write it down. What triggered it? What did you predict? What actually happened? After a month, you'll see your patterns. You'll know exactly where your system needs calibration. This isn't about becoming fearless. It's about becoming accurate. Some people need to worry more. They're missing real signals. Others need to worry less. They're drowning in false ones. Most of us need both. Worry less about nonsense. Worry more about what matters. Your personal calibration is an ongoing project. Life changes, you change, threats change. The goal isn't perfect prediction. The goal is getting better at distinguishing signal from noise. Your intuition is there, waiting under all that static. Chapter 10. The meta move. Here's the ultimate level. Thinking about your thinking while you're thinking it. It's called metacognition, and it's your secret weapon against both anxiety and denial. When you notice yourself spiraling, you can think, I'm spiraling. When you notice yourself avoiding, you can think, I'm avoiding. That tiny bit of awareness creates choice where there was only reaction. This isn't about constant self-monitoring. That's exhausting. It's about developing a background awareness, like knowing where you are while walking. You don't think about every step, but you notice if you're off course. Your thinking has patterns, and patterns can be interrupted. The meta move transforms you from prisoner to observer of your own mind. You still feel anxiety, but you're not consumed by it. You still have concerns, but you can evaluate them. You become the scientist of your own experience. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you practice this awareness, the more automatic it becomes. Your neural pathways literally rewire themselves to include this checking mechanism. You develop an immune system against your own mental viruses. Look, you're never going to eliminate all anxiety, and you shouldn't want to. Some anxiety is your friend. It's the realistic kind that keeps you prepared and aware. The goal isn't to feel nothing. It's to feel accurately. Your mind evolved to keep you alive, and it's done a pretty good job. You're here, after all. Now it's time to help it evolve a little more, to update its software for modern life, to calibrate its sensors for actual rather than imagined threats. You have everything you need. The evidence test, the circle of control, the best friend filter. These aren't just techniques. They're practices that build a more accurate relationship with reality. The question isn't whether you're anxious or realistic. The question is, are you willing to find out? Learn something new? Hit that like button, share it with others, tap subscribe, and stick around for more. Got thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments.